Good evening, and welcome to the 68th Annual Meeting of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union. Tonight's meeting is being hosted both in person here at the Richard E. Berry Educational Support Center in Cypress and streamed live. We have members logged in online and watching across from our community, as well as our members who have taken time to attend in person this evening. In order to open our annual meeting, I need to confirm that a quorum of members are present. Ms. Irwan Wilson, here on my left, is the person serving as board secretary this past year. So, Ms. Wilson, do we have enough people to constitute a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. With that, we will call our meeting to order. I'd like to also welcome the members of Prairie View Federal Credit Union, a division of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union. Prairie View officially joined forces with Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union in February of 2022. And we're glad that you're here, and I'll be sharing some exciting news about things that we're working on in the communities we serve, both in Cypress, across Houston, in Prairie View, and around Waller County as well. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of our Board of Directors and Supervisor Committee. When I call your name, if you'd please raise your hand. Dr. Debbie Emery, Mr. Harold Rowe, Ms. Irwan Wilson, Ms. Reagan Pugh, Ms. Gail Parker, Mr. Chuck Brandman, Michelle Tran, and one of our directors, Noel Yepes, could not be with us this evening, but we want to recognize him as well. Oh, Dr. Cheryl Henry. Oh, my goodness. She could derail everything. She's the nominating committee chair. She's also one of our table officers, so I need to get that right. Thank you very much for being here. I apologize. I would like to also introduce the chair of our Supervisory Committee chair, Mr. Gary Kinninger. Mr. Kinninger will be delivering the committee's report later in our agenda. He will also introduce the great group of members who have served on our Supervisory Committee this past year during his report. With that, I'll go ahead and lead into the President's report. A lot of information and the results you'll hear about tonight are the product of many projects and initiatives led through our organization over the past year. Those would not be possible or have the success that they have had without the excellent leaders who oversee key areas of the credit union. If you are a member of the executive leadership team, when I call your name, would you please stand up? Valerie Perlman, Vice President of Human Resources and Compliance. Sean Orthober is back in the back corner helping us to orchestrate tonight's meeting, Vice President of Marketing and Business Development. Catherine Lacheles is our Vice President of Retail Sales and Service. Federico Castillo, Vice President of Finance and Accounting. Shane Perkins, Vice President of Information Technology, back in the right-hand corner. And Andres Luna, Vice President of Digital Banking, who's also helping us back there. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I would be remiss and possibly foolish if I did not recognize the nearly 80 hardworking employees who are committed to the credit union's vision to write good into the life stories of those around us. If you're an employee or a manager in the credit union, would you please stand up so we can recognize you? Thank you. We know for our members, that's where the rubber hits the road. Those are the individuals that create your credit union experience, and so we're very grateful for them. During this evening's presentations, if you have any questions that are not answered by the reports, you can see that we have a room full of knowledgeable people who can help you. If you're attending online, you can submit a question through the online chat feature, and they will be addressed during the new business portion of the meeting. Our first order of the business this evening is the approval of last year's annual meeting minutes. In-person attendees received a copy of the meeting minutes as they arrived and checked in. Additionally, a digital copy has been posted to our website at cyfairfcu.org/meeting, the same location where online attendees signed in tonight. In order to document the approval of last year's minutes, I'm going to request a motion to approve them. In-person attendees can move for approval by raising your hand and stating, "I make a motion to approve the minutes," or online by typing "motion to approve" or "second" in the chat window. A Cy-Fair team member will document the name of the members making the motion and seconding for the minutes of this year's proceeding when we get together next year. If there are no additions or corrections to the meeting minutes, I need a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Individual, can you say your name?
William Wilson. I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Is there a second? see a hand right there. Say your name. Scott Liebman. Thank you so much. We have a motion for a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Are there any opposed? The motion passes and last year's minutes are approved. It's my pleasure to deliver the President's report and tell you a little bit about what we've been up to this past year and give you a little bit of a preview of the things that we're working on in 2025. 2024 was full of opportunities and new challenges for the credit union and our members. While the year started with an extremely competitive market for deposits at financial institutions, the new dividend rate environment began to feel almost normal by year end. However, consumer borrowing remained low and sustained high prices on everything from houses, new cars, home insurance, groceries, gas, healthcare, and electricity. The household budgets of our members were substantially stretched this past year. Amidst this backdrop, we have also experienced a tornado, a derecho, a hurricane, a regional power outage which lasted several days in many areas, and then one of the worst global technology disruptions in history. The cause of the global outage was a system update from cybersecurity company CrowdStrike. Their product, Falcon Sensor, is widely used around the world to detect and respond to cybersecurity threats on computer systems. The outage disrupted critical systems in businesses and government offices, airlines, financial institutions like Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union, hotels, hospitals, manufacturing companies, broadcasting, gas stations, and even emergency services. In total, the faulty update that they loaded out to all of those systems is estimated to have crashed 8.5 million systems worldwide and caused $10 billion in financial damage. Cy-Fair FCU was also affected by the CrowdStrike issue. However, due to the investments we've made in redundancy and recovery of systems, our IT team were able to quickly restore systems to full operation within just a few hours and continue serving members. In the vocabulary of this year's annual meeting, we rolled with the punches and quickly maneuvered to get off the ropes. That's what fighting for our members is all about. Financial performance of the organization. Despite high prices, low loan volume, and much higher dividend expenses, and higher levels of delinquency on loans, I'm pleased to report that the credit union performed well and showed positive growth in key areas of the organization. While Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union saw a contraction in total loans, the credit union grew by a little over 1.54% in new memberships over the course of the year. As of December 31st, the credit union closed the year with net income of $1.23 million. This equates to a return on average asset ratio of 0.35%. This was down year over year from 2023 as a result of much higher dividend expenses and higher loan losses, which I'll speak to in just a moment. However, the credit union retained strong capital reserves at 9.23%, which is above the threshold to be classified as well capitalized by the National Credit Union Administration, who is our regulator. Let's take a look at some of the trends in a few of these categories. New memberships. Almost flat for the first half. We made changes in our business development strategies mid-year, with campus events for students and faculty at Lone Star College and Prairie View University featuring our new Falcon debit card and Panther debit card. The credit union brought an inflatable cash vault, in quotes, that we see has clear windows and some highly desirable green paper flying around inside. New members got the opportunity to step inside and see how many Alexander Hamiltons, Andrew Jacksons, or George Washingtons that they could grab in 60 seconds. The Falcon card featured the mascot for Lone Star College Cy-Fair, and it was launched in the college's 20th anniversary year, the end of 2023. Proceeds from qualifying transactions using the Falcon card are donated to the Lone Star College Foundation to fund student scholarships. Our new PVAMU card and our Panther card were expanded over the course of the last year. As our School Spirit Card program has evolved and expanded to include our college partners, we have held tightly to the ideals that all of our School Spirit Cards should benefit students and school programs. Proceeds from both the Prairie View cards are donated to the Prairie View A&M University Foundation to fund student scholarships and support the university's athletics programs. The credit union's assets hit a high point in October with $363 million before dipping slightly in November and December, which you can see in the graph. As of December 31st, the credit union closed out the year at $362 million, an increase of $27 million from the beginning of the year. Net worth is our cushion against economic headwinds, and it provides stability and soundness for our organization. The credit union's net worth hovered around 9% throughout the year, but decreased from 9.60% down to 9.23%. The largest influencers in the change were higher dividend expense, higher loan losses, and strong deposit growth. Deposits grow assets, and when assets are the denominator of the net worth ratio, it causes the result to be smaller. As previously reported, at 9.23%, the credit union is considered well capitalized by the NCUA, our federal regulator. The credit union's net worth was around 7% many years ago, and through the direction of the board and executive leadership, we worked hard to build a wider cushion for economic turmoil, and that has served us well. Member deposits. Deposits dipped slightly in the first month of the year before trending upward over 2024. Starting the year at $290 million, the credit union ended at $316,795,000 as of year end, an increase of nearly $27 million. While our annual report ended each year on December 31st, it's noteworthy in a few of these graphs that we illustrate what has happened since the first quarter of 2025 has transpired. You'll see that growth in member deposits has continued, and that is illustrated on the screen in yellow. There was a little tip of the hat in the design for our Prairie View attendees. Loans continued to grow over the course of the last year, but it grew at a slower rate than in 2023. We ended the year at $72,380,000 in loans funded, down from $80 million the prior year. The credit union's lending team processed approximately 7,000 loan applications from January to December. The credit union supplemented this organic loan decline with strategic purchases of loans, which is reflected in the mid-year increase that you see on the graph. With strong competition for dealer financing, dealer fees, and third-party fees remaining high, we have taken a position to withdraw some of our interest in putting indirect vehicle loans in our portfolio. When adjusted for the probability of default, the credit union can achieve a better return for our members with other investments. This has placed a greater emphasis on pre-approved, direct auto loans where our members can go car shopping with financing already secured. Pre-approved buyers are able to focus on negotiating the best overall purchase price rather than accepting dealer financing at a lower interest rate, but paying full retail price for the vehicle. Additionally, an area of focus for the credit union in 2025 is refinancing loans that Cy-Fair FCU members have elsewhere. I'm praying that none of you in this room would be falling into that category, but if you do, we would be glad to help you save some money and bring it over to Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union. Loan delinquency and charge-offs. Our ratio for combined delinquency and charge-offs jumped up to 1.05% at the start of the year. While low by historical and industry standards, the upward swing in loan losses is reflected in the credit union's lower 2024 net income versus 2023. In September, we began implementing some additional key changes in our early intervention contacts with delinquent borrowers, and we reorganized our loss prevention team. Within a few months, we started seeing our delinquency and loss ratios decrease, and the credit union's combined delinquency and charge-off ratio has declined steadily in the past 4 months from a high of 1.55% to 1.32% presently. This is the lowest since August of last year, and the trend is favorable for additional improvement. Net income. We made a large adjusting entry to our net income at the end of 2024 pertaining to a federal stimulus program. This is the reason for the negative entry that starts the 13-month period. After expenses, Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union added $1.23 million in capital reserves over the course of 2024. Earnings in Q1 of this year have remained strong, and you can see that reflected in the end of the graph with average earnings in the first 3 months of $178,000 per month. New products. Shifting from our financials, I would like to share some information about some exciting new products that we're beginning to offer through the credit union. In 2024, we sized up the challenges that our members were facing, studied the threats, and crafted strategies to help you and your budget come out on top. This meant launching new products and services that would better equip our members for success. Inflation delivered an increased cost of debit towards a whip that reduced our participants to voted hard savings. To counter that threat, we introduced a new high-interest money market account that gives Cy-Fair FCU members a fighting chance to maintain and grow your savings strength. There are 3 products that fall into this category. The first is our Onyx money market account. Provides a high yield option for our high depositors with special perks and benefits. Our new Tandem Advantage money market account offers our money market account holders a higher exclusive rate when it's paired with an active Cy-Fair FCU checking account. And lastly, our Advantage Money Market is the new name for our historic basic money market. This is a straightforward, safe savings option that offers higher returns than traditional savings accounts, all while keeping your funds easily accessible. Sounds like a pretty good advantage to me. From the launch of these accounts on October 1st through December 31st, our money market balances grew by nearly $5 million, a 21% change, and our business money market account balances increased by just under $1 million, a 40% change. Our marketing and branch teams played a pivotal role in the development and deployment of these great new accounts. Next up is a product called Greenlight. In 2024, one member of our executive team became aware of this product, worked with others on their team to help us bring this product to Cy-Fair FCU. We launched a brand new checking account and savings program aimed at parents with children. This program, called Greenlight, is an award-winning digital money app trusted today by over 6 million parents globally. And with our own debit card, kids and teens learn to manage money, and parents set flexible spending limit controls, determine what types of transactions are permitted, send money to their kids instantly, and get real-time notifications of spending. As a parent, you can also assign chores, incentives, and even reward them for learning good money management behaviors inside the app. Leaving products and turning to, how are you? Starting in 2023, Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union rolled out a new tagline that asks a simple but significant question: how are you? This tagline initiated a new vocabulary for principles that the credit union has stood for since its founding over 68 years ago. How are you? How can we help? What is going on in your life at this moment? How can we help you and your family to reach your financial goals? How can we stand with you and help you recover from a moment of crisis? We're ready to cheer with you and to help you win the fight. As Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union and Prairie View Federal Credit Union grow, we are partnering with great employers, institutions, and nonprofits. Like our historic partnership with Cypress Fairbanks ISD, the exciting agreements reached with Lone Star College and Prairie View University, and the new ones that are in works. We're asking each of them, how are you? So for our attendees here tonight, and those of you attending online, how are you?
Close your eyes. No, really. Think back to this morning when you first woke up, leading up to this very minute. How'd it go? Have you smiled today as a result of something unexpected? Any unwelcome surprises? What joyful news have you received recently? What circumstances weighing heavily on you and your loved ones? Do you know what you'd like to achieve in the future? At Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union, we believe in stories. Your story. We have made it our organizational mission to write good into the life stories around us. You are a living, breathing, real-time legacy in process, juggling work, family, school, finances, living expenses, and trying to build a better tomorrow for you and your family. Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union is here to walk beside you, to collaborate with, to lighten heavy loads, to provide solutions, to help you achieve the big goals you have, and to celebrate with you when you achieve major milestones. Started by teachers and educators 68 years ago, the legacy of our story is seeing people for their humanity, for their aspirations, and to write good into their life story. Owned and democratically governed by our account holders, imagine the difference of banking with a not-for-profit financial cooperative that pulses with the founding heartbeat of some of the best educators in the state and who partners with employee-centric organizations. When was the last time your financial institution asked you, "How are you?" and genuinely cared about your answer?
We don't care about people just because there's a business opportunity to care about them. We care about them because we genuinely gravitate towards opportunities to lift people up, to come alongside them, to make the world better. And sometimes the world is falling down.
Hurricane Harvey came and the water starting to come in. And of course, like most everybody that was further away from the coast, we didn't have flood insurance. It was tough.
So this particular member had a large sum of fraud on her account. The account had already been charged off because the account was negative for so long, and a support check had come through her account. She was really in desperate need of needing this money because her estranged husband had abused her and her 3 children, and they were currently living in a shelter.
In 2015, I was chosen as the Teacher of the Year, and they pulled my name out, and I won $24,000, which was like a 1-year mortgage giveaway. I knew I wanted to purchase a house, and I knew I wanted to use that money for the down payment, but I didn't know anything else about buying a house.
My brother had just passed, so I needed to come in and get a credit card because I needed a rental. It was just like really hard. 1 second.
Well, I'm a woman with several disabilities, and I would always come inside the banking institution, and I would always struggle. There were some discrepancies on my credit report because living with a disability is very challenging.
I think the stories that we have selected and that we've brought to the surface are just this tiny sample of the things that Cy-Fair FCU has been doing for 65 years.
After the funeral and everything, I just felt like, oh my God, I got a credit card, like I was able to get my rental, like I don't know what I would have done.
Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union, they did everything within their power to have that item removed.
Everybody at the credit union and all of their affiliates were working with me. They were of utmost integrity. They were positive, they were helpful. They, always went the extra mile for me, but by February of 2016, I had found a home and I got to move in.
We retrieved that money back from those fraudulent charges. We paid off the remaining charge-off amount that was in your account. We cleaned your record, but here's the remaining funds, which happened to be over $1,400. The member proceeded to cry and was like, I'm still struggling and I didn't know what I was going to do for Christmas, so you have no idea how much this means to me and what a great time this was.
So many people came out of the woodwork, like, that I didn't even know or think about, everybody helped. It was really cool to see so many people come out and help us.
We get to experience these different stories, some good, some that were moments of pain and hurt. Some of them were hopeful for the future. And we deal with stories like that every single day throughout our organization.
That 5 minutes that you have in front of them, that you're doing everything you possibly can to make their day better.
Cy-Fair Credit Union did the exact same thing for me. They had this opportunity. It's good for them and it's good for me, but it's good that we're both treating each other with respect and being able to trust and work together.
After I leave, I have no anxiety. I feel like I just left like a family member's home.
I got my first credit card, so now I feel like an adult.
The people we are working with most often for the longest amount of time, the stories that we have the most opportunity to write into is each other's. How we show empathy to the stories of everyone around us.
At the end of the day, it's not really about, money, because those things that we can do to help our members to change their lives, it's kind of priceless. If we take that 1 minute to just listen and to just ask the right questions, we may unpack a whole other situation that we didn't know about.
How are you planning to prepare for retirement? How are you going to recover from a financial crisis? How are you going to finance your next vehicle loan? How are you going to lift your family to the economic goals that you have? How do you dig below the surface? How do you give them more than they even know that they could get in that interaction? That's what Cy-Fair FCU wants to stand for.
Near the end of that video, every time my throat closes up. I'm so proud of what this organization is about, and I feel very similar about the history that Prairie View Federal Credit Union has provided in its community, and it's amazing that we get to be custodians of both of those stories and get to carry forward the spirit that's encapsulated in the How Are You? So I encourage you today, before you leave, tell one of our Cy-Fair FCU employees, how are you? We would like to be part of your journey, whether it's a moment of celebration, moment of crisis. We're very happy that we get the opportunity to serve you. I'll tell you a little bit about our merger with Prairie View and some exciting things that are developing with that. 3 years ago, powerful legacies of Prairie View Federal Credit Union and Cy-Fair FCU joined forces. Together, we're adding exciting new chapters to a nearly 90-year-old history at PVFCU. In early 2024, we celebrated the re-grand opening of Prairie View's Financial Center. Remodeled with state-of-the-art technology and 2 beautiful new consultation rooms, the story of Prairie View Federal Credit Union is captured in the timeline graphic above the new transaction area and in the legacy hall that lists all the past volunteers, founders, and organizational leaders who shepherded the credit union in its early years on through today. With a community ribbon-cutting ceremony, week-long special promotions and giveaways for members, and a heartwarming invitation-only event for community leaders, past board and supervisory committee members, and PVAMU faculty and administration, the updates are eye-catching and meticulously designed to help serve the needs of the Prairie View community. In 2024, we reached an exclusive sponsorship agreement with Prairie View A&M University. This includes advertising and signage for Prairie View Federal Credit Union throughout Panther Stadium and even on-screen advertising during Panther football games. Take a look at what people saw on the scoreboard during this year's football games. Remarkably, even with a stadium full of people, you can hear that, and my foot always ends up tapping to it. What's exciting to me is when you're a small credit union, and Prairie View was and is a small credit union serving a great community, you don't have the resources to be able to do some of the advertising and marketing. A lot of times, day to day, it's about serving the members that are coming through the door and sort of survival. The year of the merger, there was a budget of $250 for marketing for the entire year. So it's exciting to see all the opportunity and promise of Prairie View Federal Credit Union, the ability for us to expand its visibility back over to the university, to the college employees and the students who were the original charter for the credit union, and to be able to bring attention to that organization. It continues to grow, and we're very excited about it. I'm going to turn from that to some awards and recognition received by individuals at the credit union. This last year, we just were made aware that coming up this next month, Mr. Harold Rowe, one of our board members, and Ms. Carmela McDermott have won awards through the Cornerstone Credit Union League. To give you some context for the awards that they've won, Mr. Rowe, having served, I believe the number is 23 years on the board of directors. I meant to pull it and refresh my memory, but it's a long time. Been a fantastic board member for the credit union, and I really think that he sets the standard high for people who volunteer on board of directors or in any other capacity. Excitingly, the Cornerstone Credit Union League agreed with that. For context, there are 700 credit unions in the Cornerstone region, spanning Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, with over 39,000 employees and 7,000 volunteer board and committee members. And Mr. Rowe was selected as the Volunteer of the Year for this year. So I want to congratulate him. Ms. Carmela McDermott is one of our executive assistants in the organization, and she has also had an illustrious and long career in credit unions, from everything from a credit union manager to working for the Cornerstone League many years ago and doing executive recruiting. She did staffing and placement for decades, and first, if you spend any time in the credit union industry, as you go around, everybody, it seems like everybody that is in their current positions is there because Carmela helped to put them there or gave them a lift on their career that has positioned them for where they're sitting today. I count myself amongst those people because Carmela administered the search that was done in 2012 to fill the very big shoes left by Miss Debbie Blackshear. And I'm forever grateful for the board selection and the process administered by Ms. McDermott that helped to lead me to this position and this great community. For that reason, I believe that Ms. McDermott's sphere of influence has been national because, like myself, a transplant, a Texan that grew up in another state that took a little while to get to my new home, I was in another state and would not have had the opportunity if not for the process and the advocacy that she brought to the executive search that was administered at Cy-Fair FCU. And she did countless of those searches through the years, talking to executives around the country and helping them to find good positions for good people. And we're very excited that she was recognized as the Credit Union Professional of the Year, again, out of 39,000 employees. The second piece is a little bit awkward because my stupid picture is up there as well. But what I wanted to emphasize was it speaks to the quality of this organization. I can't think of any other organization, any other credit union specifically, that has 4 individuals presently involved in the organization that have been recognized as Volunteer of the Year, Credit Union Professional of the Year, HR Professional of the Year. There is a great group of people here, and it's been a privilege to work alongside them. And I believe that that's why you see the quality and the excellence that our organization has. And I think we've got several more award winners in our midst in the future years. Next up, I'd like to talk a little bit about our Pinnacle Marketing Awards. We have a phenomenal marketing team. This past year, they won 6 Pinnacle Marketing Awards. The awards given were for Best Print Advertising, Best Card Design, and that's the debit school Spirit Card program, Best Social Media, Best Special Event, Best Annual Report, and this I think might be another award winner, Mr. Ortherberg, Best Television Advertising. And so the number I have is 31 since 2016. Is that about right? that tells me that I'm not quite right, but he's letting me off the hook because we have a whole room full of people. So he'll tell me the right number, but it was 25 and we added 6. So using my Excel spreadsheet, I was able to come up with 31. Phenomenal team of individuals, and it's not just Sean Orthoburr, who is our VP of Marketing, but also Audrey and Roy, who are pictured in the photo next to them. They had all of the advance warning of me yesterday saying, hey, I need a picture of your whole team, and so I love that picture. Other recent awards, these are not necessarily 2024. The top one, Living Magazine Reader's Choice Awards. That's a 5-year string that we've been voted Best Credit Union in Cy-Fair, and then on through several other accolades. And again, I think that it speaks to the quality that the organization aspires to. In addition to the credit union being the recipient of some recognition, we started something this last year, and I'm going to have Sean click on it in just a moment. We started a new program to recognize leaders and individuals and organizations in our community that also have demonstrated the same commitment to write good into the life stories of those around us. And we feel like if we are not only trying to stand for those things in our own organization, but also recognizing when we see it out in our community, it will replicate and it will multiply. And so we began to think about who we would nominate for that award, and then some strong deliberations amongst all of us. Ultimately, we made an award that I think you will agree on, and here's a video clip of our presentation of our 2024 Community Quill Award. As you are living the well-deserved retirement lifestyle, you will not be at next Monday's retiree banquet.
No, Cindy and I will be in beautiful Florida,
You're
South
doing
Florida.
What you should be doing.
Yeah.
But we did want to do something special for you, and
Okay.
we were planning to do that there, and so we're going to do it here tonight.
Okay.
The credit union, as you know, you've heard me talk for almost as long as I've been here, a little bit less than you have. I came right on right after you did, and you've heard me say a number of times that the credit union's values, the things that we stand for, the things that we try and promote and do, are really the product of teachers who started us and who wrote into our story. And our vision statement is to write good into the life stories of those around us. And we started talking this last year about we not only want to embody that, but we also want to recognize where we see that embodied out in the community. And so we have created an award. It's called the Community Quill Award. And it is a way for us to recognize individuals who we feel like demonstrate that spirit. And I can think of, and our board and our group that made this decision could think of no better embodiment of writing good into the life stories of those around us than Dr. Mark Henry, the superintendent of CFFCU, all the things you've done. On the spine it says writing good into the life stories of those around us. And we just wanted to thank you for 12 magnificent years, and know that your legacy and the stories that you've written into will extend for many, many years. So I want to thank you.
Well, thank you, and of course it was such a capstone of my career and such an honor to be able to serve in the Cy-Fair community. And I knew it was a great community, but one of my goals, the 12 and a half years I served here, was to make sure that even though we're as big as we are, that we kept that community focus and community feel. And I've just been surrounded by so many wonderful teachers, and then the community, the business community. And I just visited with the faith-based community there. That was always my goal, is for the school district to be part of the community and to support the community. And certainly Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union is one of our longest and best supporters. And certainly I appreciate you, Debbie before you, and all of the people that got the credit union started many decades ago. And thank y'all for continuing to support Cy-Fair ISD and for your support of me over the last 12 and a half years.
Happy to do that. On behalf of the entire Cy-Fair family, thank you. It's a privilege to serve you and to support the residential communities across Harris and Waller counties, our schools and small businesses, the students and faculty of Lone Star College, Prairie View University, employees of Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District, and so many local nonprofit organizations. It is a privilege to write good into your stories and to fight for your success. I will now turn the microphone over to Board Chairman Dr. Debbie Emery, who will give the Board of Directors report.
Thank you, Cameron. Wow, so many successes. Just no wonder that we are so proud to be a part of Credit Union here, Cy-Fair Credit Union. I am pleased to deliver this year's Board of Directors report. As one of 9 board members for the credit union, I have had the opportunity to serve as the board chairman for the past 2 years and a member of this credit union for about 48 years. So I've been around a long time. In November of this past year, Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union completed its 68th year of business since the credit union's founding by employees of the then Cypress Fairbanks Consolidated School District. Now, in our 69th year, Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union has evolved and grown tremendously since our chartering in 1956. What started with 10 founding members has grown to nearly 25,500 memberships with assets of $372 million. The theme of this year's annual meeting is Fighting for Our Members. As your elected representative on the board of the credit union, I am proud to report that CFFCU is continually fighting for the financial success of our members. Much like a seasoned champion inside the boxing ring, we aim to bring strength, strategy, and agile dedication to delivering real value to every account holder and every borrower every time. This past year featured some formidable opponents for our members: widespread economic inflation, a rising cost of living, and increased costs for health care, auto, and home insurance premiums. Our community also faced unprecedented local events such as Hurricane Beryl, Houston derecho, causing widespread disruption and damage to many of us. These challenges placed many household budgets on the ropes, leading to depleted savings and increased debt that made it harder for individuals and families to achieve their financial victories. The rising rate environment also added financial stress. Combined with stricter lending standards from other financial institutions, these created a powerful 1-2 punch that made it more difficult to obtain affordable credit for everyday needs and major purchases like a new vehicle or a home. Consequently, individuals experienced uncertainty, stress, and a heightened need for financial support and guidance. In response, the leadership, board, and employees of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union have been climbing into the ring every day also, ready to rumble and take on these obstacles. This past year, like the decades before, CFFCU has helped our members bob and weave through adversity, adapt to the economic punches thrown, and fight back. As a longtime member of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union myself, I can proudly say that CFFCU has been training for this for years. As you heard previously in Mr. Dickey's report, the financial performance of the credit union was strong in 2024, continuing a legacy of good stewardship, of resources, conservative management of risks, and effective oversight by the credit union's board of directors. Our continued commitment to safety and soundness as a financial institution ensures that we remain strong and steady for our members and community. Here are just a few of the ways we worked on your behalf over the past year. CFFCU created a new home equity specialist position in our lending department to help our members get quick, knowledgeable access to the equity in their home when they needed it for debt consolidation, home improvements, medical bills, or to make large purchases more obtainable and affordable. In 2024, we also partnered with Lucra Business Lending Solutions to expand our business lending capabilities with digital ease of use, improvements for our members, and garner access to a broader array of small business lending expertise. Our credit and disability insurance product coverages were expanded to provide full payment assistance to borrowers who are seriously injured. We also modified the coverage to remove pregnancy exclusions. These changes are intended to help CFFCU members better protect their credit and household budgets when they need it. Another way that CFFCU helped this past year was with our competitive dividend rates on deposits. Whether it was one of our many certificate of deposit promotions, our new Advantage or Onyx money market accounts that Cameron talked about, or our market lending leading Z checking account, CFFCU members received some of the highest dividend rates in 2024. This was a strategic focus of the credit union and a significant investment with dividends paid to Cy-Fair FCU members, rising 93.51% from the prior year. Last year, CFFCU also completed a multi-year strategic initiative with approval of our first CDFI Technical Assistant Grant application from the U.S. Department of Treasury. CDFI is an abbreviation for Community Development Financial Institutions. This program has very high standards, and we are delighted that our application was approved. Proceeds from this grant will fund a full-time financial education specialist position within the credit union. The position was approved with a specific focus on Prairie View and local underserved communities. Additionally, the $300,000 grant provides funding to expand access to affordable financial services at Prairie View University with a new on-campus ITM. CFFCU members know that they can depend on their not-for-profit member-owned and democratically controlled credit union to stand with them. Whether it's current moments of uncertainty or building a brighter future, when CFFCU members are fighting to provide for their families or feeling like their paycheck is on the ropes, Cy-Fair FCU is always right there in the ring, fighting with you. In closing, it is an honor to represent the credit union's membership on the board of directors. I'm proud to be a part of a long line of engaged, deliberative, and experienced members who have contributed to the success of Cy-Fair FCU, and I believe the future remains bright for our credit union. Thank you. I now would like to ask Mr. Gary Kinniger, Chairman of the Supervisory Committee, to deliver his committee report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emery. Good evening. How are you? The Credit Union Supervisory Committee is appointed by the Board of Directors annually and consists of 3 to 5 members of the credit union. This past year, in addition to myself, the committee members included Ms. Lori Baker. Not seeing Lori tonight. If you're here, please stand. Miss Elaine Schaefer. There's Elaine. Hi, Elaine. Miss Tamika Ramsey. And Mr. Keith Felder. For the committee members in attendance, we already did that. Stand and be recognized. Thank you. The role of the Credit Union Supervisory Committee is to work with the Board of Directors and executive leadership to ensure that the credit union adheres to regulations, policies, and generally accepted accounting principles which have been established to safeguard the credit union's assets. The Supervisory Committee oversees internal and external audit activities. For 2024, the credit union's independent external audit was conducted by the firm Doran Mayhew and Certified Public Accounting and Consulting Firm. This audit recently concluded. While the final report has yet to be filed, the preliminary report contains no adjusting entries or recommended changes. The credit union's financial statements for 2024, in all material respects, fairly and accurate, represent the position of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union. In addition to the external CPA audit, the credit union is periodically subject to examination by the National Credit Union Administration, the NCUA, the federal regulator for the credit union. The most recent general NCUA exam was completed in September of 2023 for the period ending June 30th of 2023. The NCUA also conducted a fair lending examination in May of 2024. Based on the findings of the credit union's external audits, internal audits, and examinations by federal regulators, I can report that strong internal processes are in evidence. The credit union is diligent with efforts to comply with all applicable regulations, and reports have been filed with the committee during this past year, which reflects sound business practices, controls, and processes. That concludes the Supervisory Committee report. I would now like to introduce Dr. Cheryl Henry, who will give the Nominating Committee report. Dr. Henry?
Thank you. Good evening. Wave your hands in the air. I'm going to wake you up a little bit. We've been listening a long time. Take your right hand, touch your left ear. Take your left hand, touch your right ear. It wakes up your brain when you cross over the plane of your body. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. This past December, the Nominating Committee met to evaluate candidates for expiring terms on the credit union's board of directors and any open positions. I had the pleasure of chairing this year's committee. The Cy-Fair FCU's board of directors consists of 9 volunteer directors elected from the credit union's membership. Board members are elected for 3-year terms, and their terms are staggered to ensure continuity of oversight and governance. When a board member leaves before completing their term, a replacement candidate may be appointed by the board chair to serve until the next annual meeting, where they must stand for election by the members. If elected, the candidate will complete the years remaining on the original 3-year term. At today's annual meeting, 4 board positions are required to stand for election. These include 3 which will be elected for 3-year terms and 1 appointed board member who is nominated to complete the remaining 1-year term on their position. When a current incumbent director has been appointed to fill an opening on the board, the credit union's bylaws state they must stand for election by the membership at the next annual meeting. In evaluating candidates for these openings, the nominating committee received expressions from 4 incumbent directors indicating their interest to continue serving on the board. Additionally, throughout the month of November, the credit union posted information about the board's election and sought nominations from the credit union's membership through its website. No additional candidate applications or prospective nominees were submitted. In consideration of the strong involvement, experience, and expressions of interest by the 4 incumbent directors, the nominating committee voted to nominate the following individuals: Gail Parker for a 3-year term, Reagan Pugh for a 3-year term, Noel Yapis for a 3-year term, and Michelle Tran for a 1-year term. All these nominees have demonstrated a commitment to a high-level governance model, representation of the members, and have been engaged in appropriate due diligence throughout the year. They have been exemplary members of the board and have contributed positively to the credit union's governance. Additionally, they meet all position requirements outlined in the credit union's corporate governance policy. When you came in tonight, you were given a copy of the candidate bios in your packet, and it described the qualifications of each of these nominees. As directed by our bylaws, notice of tonight's annual meeting and associate elections were mailed to members during the first week of January, along with information describing how additional nominations could be made by petition with signatures of 1% of the credit union's eligible members. The February 10th deadline passed without additional nominations. In accordance with our bylaws, when only 1 member is nominated for an open position, the nominees from the nominating committee shall be deemed elected by general consent to the position and for the term that was designated when originally making their nomination. With a quorum of members present at this duly held annual meeting, the motion passes affirming the election of the 4 nominees to the credit union's board. So please join me in congratulating Gail, Reagan, Noel, and Michelle, and thank them for their continued service on behalf of the credit union's membership. It has been my pleasure to serve as the nominating committee chair for this year's elections, and this concludes the nominating committee's report. I would now give the floor back to Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. I want to thank her for chairing the nominating committee this year, and all of the committee members. And again, congratulations to all the nominees. A lot of time goes into serving on the board and the various committees, attending trainings and presentations by outside examiners, not to mention representing the credit union at dozens of community events throughout the year. So I think all of our board members deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. As we start the final portions of our agenda this evening, please remember, if you have any questions during the business section, if you have, you can either step up to one of the microphones, which I don't see, but we will provide you one, even if it's this one right here. Oh, Mr. Orthober has them. Or you can type your question in the online chat window and use the raise hand option in the virtual meeting, and we'll get that question asked and answered for you. At this time, is there any old business to come before this meeting? Hearing none, we will proceed to new business. Is there any new business to come before this meeting? At this time, I'd like to ask my team who are administering our virtual meeting, have any questions been posted through the online chat or hands raised? No hands raised on the online, but we do have a question right here. And so, Sean, if you'd bring the microphone over. He's waving off the microphone. Okay.
The question I have is in regards to the forum that was tabled.
It's a great question. We are required to keep a record of the individuals who come to the meeting, and so we provide a list to our folks who work the registration table as you come in, and they verify that your membership is active, that you are of age, all of the things that are required for you to vote, and then they keep that sign-in sheet with the minutes to show who attended the annual meeting, and so we can produce sort of a record of everybody who was in attendance. It's based on membership. Our bylaws put a fixed number in the minimum, and so our bylaws state that at least 15 members have to be in attendance. And so we met that both in attendance by members at large as well as our board members. They end up filling a lot of different shoes for the organization. In addition to providing governance, they're unpaid for all the things that they do and volunteer with us. They're unpaid. So they are members. They have to be members in order to serve on the board of directors. So we always know that we should have roughly 9, tonight 8, towards that 15. And then adding in our supervisory committee, that gets us closer. And then I'm always satisfied when I see members who've come and taken time who are not involved as an employee, not involved as a board or supervisory committee member. And so we greatly appreciate that you're here tonight and all of our members who took the time to come and attend. Any other questions? Okay, with that, I'm going to hand the microphone over to, I'm going to make a few closing remarks, and then I'm going to hand it over to Vanessa, who's going to do our drawing for door prizes. So, fighting for our members has been our objective throughout the course of 2024. It fits well with our "How are you?" tagline and interest in the well-being of our members. It fits well with the spirit of writing good into the life stories of those around us. When I was speaking about the Community Quill Award, I failed to sort of draw maybe the obvious dots that the Quill was selected as our award manifestation because that is the instrument of writing into a book and telling a story. And so we feel like we've got a lot of Community Quill people in our community who are writing good, and we're getting ready to finalize the selection for our 2025 recipient of the Community Quill Award. Our board and executive team and staff seek to embody our organizational vision and put our values every single day. Put more simply, you are loyal Cy-Fair FCU members and new members of the Cy-Fair FCU family at the Prairie View Division. You are the reason we exist and why we do what we do. Whether you attended tonight in person or this evening watched online, I want to thank you for participating in our look back at 2024 and our look ahead at items we're working on in 2025. A copy of our 2024 annual report was included in the meeting handouts when you arrived, and for our online attendees, you can find a digital copy of the annual report on our website at cyfairfcu.org/meetings. As a member-owned financial cooperative, your involvement in our annual meeting, in electing members to represent you on the Credit Union's Board of Directors, and for the accounts, loans, budget goals, and business that you entrust to us, they are greatly appreciated and not taken for granted. We know you have many financial services choices, and we strive to earn your business every day. We pray that 2025 is off to a prosperous start for you. We're grateful to be your key partner on your financial journey, and whether we can assist you with achieving your financial goals or provide assistance in an unexpected moment of financial crisis, Cy-Fair FCU and Prairie View FCU are here to help. Please stay safe and well, and now to give away a few prizes. It has been our tradition for many years to give some door prizes for our members who attend. Any Cy-Fair FCU and Prairie View members who attended tonight, including those of you who volunteer on our board of directors because you are unpaid, and our supervisory committee members as well. For our paid employees, we ask that you not participate. We'll find other ways to make it valuable and worthwhile and show our appreciation to you throughout the rest of the year. And Vanessa's doing the drawing. So, Vanessa.
Wow, this is exciting. Well, that concludes our 2025 annual meeting. We are adjourned by acclamation. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.